All right, we're here at Sega of America's booth. We're checking out Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. I'm here with Joe, executive producer on the title. Just played the game myself. I played as Vice, and Max played as BD Joe. And just wanted to get a little quick questions about the game here. What was some of the decision making in selecting the characters? Because I know we have like Vice and Golden Axe characters now.
Well, we obviously wanted to look at some of the older IPs that weren't in the last game. And that people had been clamoring for on the internet. So Vice has been a really popular one that's been requested. And obviously Gilius from Golden Axe is in this game now. And the reason we put him in is because our art director came up with the idea for his vehicle, which is, I don't know if you've seen it, but it's like a mechanical bull that you ride, and then it transforms into a turtle when you're in the water, and an eagle in the air. And it was inspired by these really old Ray Harryhausen sort of stop-motion movies, like Jason and the Argonauts and all that kind of shit, where the statues kind of come to life. So it's basically just like a statue that's been infused with this magic power. And it was just such a cool idea for a character. Like, it was just like, yeah, that has to go in the game, right? So there's loads of different reasons for us picking sort of different IPs. And obviously, with Vice, it's obviously one that's been requested, but it just made sense to have the Delphinius, because it's basically a version of the Delphinius that he's driving. And obviously, it's a flying boat anyway, right? So that's two kind of forms already sorted. It's a boat and it flies. So yeah, it just kind of makes sense to me. So there's loads of reasons, but those are the two for those guys. So
okay, yeah, Skies Arcadia is one of my personal favorite video games, so I was very happy with that. As far as other characters go, do you know if a certain character called Segata Sanshiro might make an appearance in the game?
Unfortunately, I can only talk about the ones that have been announced so far. So I can't comment on that. But there's lots of cool IPs that haven't been unveiled. But there's also can be, I don't know, problems with certain Sega IPs and stuff, because there's different IP holders, or the people that own the IP don't work there anymore. So we can't always get the characters in that we would want. So, but like I say, I can't unfortunately talk about whether that's in the game or not.
Okay, now as far as the stages are concerned, I know some stages are land, sea, air, and some are like land, sea. Yes. Can you talk a little bit about how like the design for the stages was selected and how that worked about? Do they all need to have variation, or will some just be one course design?
Well, it's how do you mean? Sorry, one course design?
Like only on cars, or it'll be only.
There'll always be at least two surfaces in, because the whole the key hook of the game is that it's about transformation, right? The vehicles transform and the gameplay transforms. So there'll always be at least two surfaces. In terms of what surfaces go into each track and each IP, it kind of depends on the IP a lot of the time. Because Monkey Ball, flying didn't seem to work in it, but boating and even getting water in was a bit difficult, because you don't really you don't have that in that series of games. But it seemed to make sense in the track that we put it in. Whereas Panzer Dragoon, obviously you fly with dragons, right, in the game. So that was the kind of key thing that we wanted to get in. And obviously there's water, so it just makes sense for that IP to have all three surfaces. And the story that we wanted to tell with the track of like the battle between kind of Shellkoof, the big ship from Panzer Dragoon, and the Blue Dragon, and these like Yondo worms that are in the water, because they cause the track transformations. So and Shellkoof fires a big laser into the sea, which makes a massive tidal wave when you're boating and stuff. So like the things from that IP inspired all the different kind of track transformations. So.
All right, cool. Now, do you happen to know if a certain character who trained in the mountains of Japan on the Sega Saturn might possibly come in?
You'll have to enlighten me on this, because I don't know every single Sega IP. So, who are we talking about here? Sorry.
Okay. Do you know if it's possible? Will every character who's playable, will they have their own stage, or will there be like a mix and match?
A mix and match. Yeah. So that every character that's playable, no, because we'll have more characters than stages, I think, anyway. So, but yeah, there's a mix and match. We choose the kind of the characters and the tracks independently of each other. But the thing, the tracks this time, every single track is like a different IP, whereas in the last game there were like 3 set in Seaside Hill and 3 set in Monkey Ball or whatever. Yeah. So, but we wanted a lot more variety this time. We wanted basically, if you see a screenshot of a level, you'll know which it is. So everything will be very different. So you've seen Panzer, you've seen Golden Axe. Golden Axe is all about lava and volcanoes and shit, right? And obviously Monkey Ball is a very distinctive look, and then Panzer is as well. So every track will be very different. I think that's going to be one of the big plus points of this one compared to the last one. So.
Will DLC be part of the title, including a Segata Sanshiro possible?
We are in discussions with Sega about what DLC there's going to be. So at the moment, undisclosed, but discussions are ongoing.
All right, cool. And now my big question for me is, what kind of single-player component will there be in the game, as far as like maybe like customization of carts, or maybe a sort of campaign mode?
Okay, so there is a campaign mode of sorts. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to talk about that at the moment because it's not one of the things we've gone into in a lot of detail. But we'll have your standard Grand Prix that people like to play. Obviously, there's multiplayer, but there is going to be a sort of a campaign mode which utilizes lots of different game modes and not just races. And obviously, because we've got flying, we've got boating, we can do some really cool like alternative game modes that wouldn't be possible in any other kind of karting game. So I'd keep your eyes peeled for when we do talk about that in detail because it is really cool. So there'll be a compelling single-player experience, which in a lot of karting games, I think, when it's just a Grand Prix, it's a bit lame, right? So we've got the option to play Grand Prix because people like doing that, right? Especially if you're playing with your friends. But the single-player component will be a lot more involving and more interesting, I think, in this than in other competitive karting games, So.
All right, excellent. Now, what systems is this coming out for and when?
Okay, so it's coming out like holiday season. It's not been confirmed the specific date, but the platforms are PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii U, which has only been confirmed today, and Vita and 3DS. So it's all 5 of those platforms at the moment. So it's quite a challenging project to make.
All right, and one last question: is it possible to play a Segata Sanshiro?
No comment.
I just want to let you know that I and many others really want to see it, if possible. And thank you for your time.
You too, man.
And we're really looking forward to it because we don't get enough good kart racers in the world.
Indeed. But yeah, thanks for your time, guys.